and welcome again, everyone. Good to have you with us, and certainly happy Father's Day. With Kyle Petty and Wally Dallenbach, I'm Adam Alexander. And if you've seen the practice here at Infineon this weekend, you know Marcus Ambrose has been dominant. Wally, here's a race car driver that's driven all over the world, but he said this is the toughest track he's ever been to. What makes this place so difficult?
Well, it's a very busy racetrack, and it's hard to explain. It's like waltzing with an elephant around this place because these cars are big and heavy. They don't do anything that you want to do. And what we'll see here today, you know, we've heard these guys talk about forward bite at places like Pocono and Michigan. I think that's going to be a big issue today. These guys are going to have a hard time getting a hold of the racetrack, as well as brakes. We've seen a lot of guys locking brakes up. So I think today it's just going to be a contact sport. But this is a very physical, and it's a tough racetrack to get around.
And the other item you better have in your back pocket is a good strategy, because very obviously it comes down to the wire at this place, Kyle.
It can't come down to strategy, and it comes down to patience from the driver. But you've got to race your race. I think that was one of the keys to Larry in the beginning, in our pre-race. Larry said one of the keys is race your race. And if you start with a strategy, you better stay with that strategy, because when you see guys start changing their strategy, they take themselves out of the race. So there's going to be some different stuff. The guys at the back, the guys at the front, going to have to see how it sorts out in the end.
You ever danced with an elephant, Kyle?
At this place, it felt like I was dancing with about 3 elephants, and they were fat elephants, too. Let me say that.
All right. It's going to be some fun today. Qualifying here on Friday, the Coors Light, the official beer of NASCAR, is the proud sponsor of the Coors Light Pole Award, given to the fastest qualifier in each NASCAR Sprint Cup race. This week's Coors Light Pole Award winner, Casey Kane, the 17th of his career, and the second time he has won a pole here at Infineon Raceway. He's joined on the front row this afternoon by four-time champion Jimmy Johnson. Driver 48 has never won on a road course. Row 2, Kurt Busch, always good at these types of venues. Kevin Harvick has a win under his belt at Watkins Glen. He enters the point leader. We talked about Marcus Ambrose. He's joined on row 3 by Jeff Gordon, who has 9 career wins on road courses. That's better than any other. The man who's been dominant lately when it comes to road course competition, Tony Stewart. He has won 4 of the last 10 races in NASCAR competition on road courses. He's got a good starting spot today, and he rides in a wave of momentum. Smoke enters today's race off of back-to-back top 5 finishes. Mark Martin, another driver who has experienced success on the road courses. And then there's Denny Hamlin. No wins for him at these types of facilities, but he has won the last 2 races in series competition. Montoya won here as a rookie in 2007, and Ryan Newman not bad in row 7 either. Robbie Gordon swept the road course events in 2003. A.J. Allmendinger, a top 10 here 1 year ago. We talked about the fact that Tony Stewart has a good starting spot up front and his momentum. Smoke comes in here after those 2 top 5s at Pocono and Michigan. The team is running better, and we shouldn't be surprised. This is the time of year when Tony Stewart really starts to put things together. It's been very impressive when you get to the summer portion of the season, as you see Kyle Busch deep in the field, Jeff Burton in row 15. Jan Magnussen, one of the 4 road course ringers in today's race. Matt Kenseth and David Rudiman, some ground to break up today. And there's Brad Keselowski, top 5 finish yesterday in nationwide competition. He's hoping for luck in his first start here at Infineon today. Dave Blaney, shotgun on the field, rose in the 43rd position. 2 races down in our TNT Summer Series, Pocono and Michigan. 4 still to come, starting today here at Sonoma. Each different when you look at its configuration. Loudon, a flat mile. Daytona, the big super speedway with high speeds and drafting. And then Chicagoland on July 10th, a night race on the 1.5 miles. All of these racetracks have been favorable for Tony Stewart, and we mentioned the momentum he brings in.
If you look at a guy that's going to be versatile, Tony Stewart fits that. I mean, we're coming up on a stretch of racetracks that he's very good at. He's great this time of year. He's sitting 11th in the points right now. So this is a really good opportunity for Tony Stewart to knock out some good finishes and get himself solid in the top 12.
Yeah, the TNT races seem to fit, Tony. When you look at them, you start off with Pocono, which is a strange racetrack, and then you look at these other, and you end up in a road course, then a speedway, and then in Chicago, and the flat half mile of New Hampshire. But the thing is, this is where Tony gets it done. This is where his workmanlike ethic and everything he does. It's just, this is the grind of the year. And Tony, when the grind comes, Tony rises to the top. And you start looking at these, Infineon 2, Loudon 2, Daytona 3, Chicago 2. That's the heart and soul of his years. And when you look at the championship, that's when he made the turn. That's when he won the championship. Last year, to stay in the chase and be contention, he made that turn right there. So this is his time of year. If he doesn't perform in this time of the year, then don't look for him towards the end of the year to pick up the pace.
9 victories over the course of the next 4 tracks for Tony Stewart, and as you saw, 33 times he has won in his career from June on. Very impressive when you look at his total of 37 career victories. Time now to take one last visit down the pit lane. We begin with Ralph Shaheen.
Adam, the first time Jimmy Johnson came to Infineon Raceway, he came at the age of 15 to go through a driving school. It was actually the first time he'd ever pushed the limits on asphalt. He's never won here, but he has led 30 laps. And Matt Yoakum, he's hoping to lead the one that pays the big money here today.
Ralph, our championship point leader, Kevin Harvick, he was the dominant road racer back in 2007, finishing second here at Infineon, and then going on to win at Watkins Glen. I talked to Gil Martin, this creature. He said, you can throw out the history. Today is going to be all about strategy, and we documented all the different tactics you're going to see today, fuel mileage, tires, and especially track position. We said our biggest advantage, Kevin Harvick behind the wheel. So smooth at every single point of this racetrack. Keep an eye on the 29. Marty?
Well, Matt, no driver is hotter right now in the Sprint Cup Series than Denny Hamlin, coming off the back-to-back wins. And I talked to him about road course racing. He's very underrated here at these road courses. In 8 starts on road courses, 6 top 10 finishes for Denny Hamlin. But he told me earlier this week they have purposefully de-emphasized the road course races this year because there's not a road course race in the chase, and they're focused on winning the championship. Most of these teams tested 2 or 3 times. These guys tested for 2 hours, one day at a road course. Mike Ford told me they don't really know what to expect today, but a top 10 for these guys would equal a win for the number 11 team. Let's go to Phil.
Marty, I asked Carl Edwards today if he felt like he really missed something not being here yesterday for practice while he was off winning a nationwide race in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. He said, I think it may have been more of an advantage because I got 50 laps of practice in at Elkhart Lake. That's way more laps than I would have got yesterday. I think it may be an advantage for me later today. He will start from the 19th position, Larry.
Well, Phil, a lot's been said about gambling, a lot's been said about strategy, and if you're one of those teams that's fighting to get in this chase with 11 races to go, you've got to be a little careful how much you have to gamble. So much effort has been put into this road course race. Now, there's one team here, they've been the fastest in every single practice. They don't have a lot to lose. They are basically 30th in the points, well outside the top 12. This may be their best chance to get a road course win, and I think Matt Yoakum is with that crew chief. Larry Mack, it's Opportunity Sunday for the 47 team. Frankie Kerr, you're not going for the points, you're going for the win. How aggressive can you be here today in Sonoma?
Well, we can be as aggressive as we want. We got to watch our fuel. The tires fall off so bad here, but we're going for a win. At this point in our season, we're going for it.
All right, their best finish in Sprint Cup second. Remember, he won on a road course in the Nationwide Series. He's a stout road racer.
Matt, now we look at our Burger King race analysis for this afternoon's event here at Sonoma. 218.9 miles. It is a 350K, 110 laps makes up that distance. 11 turns on this road course. Pit road speed 35 miles per hour. And our pit window, circle that. 38 to 42 laps. We are set to go green on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon in wine country. The front row, Casey Kane and Jimmy Johnson. Kane chooses the outside lane as we go green in the Toyota Save Mark 350. It's time to let them go.
That's about as clean as I've seen a turn one at Sonoma ever on the start of a race.
And I'm going to tell you, these guys are respecting each other right here. You see, most of the time you don't go through there too wide like they went through too wide, but the new tires and all this stuff.
This is turn 4, the first hard right-hander, Jimmy Johnson nosing out on the outside lane.
But this next right-hander is a tough one. You want to be on the inside. I don't think that's going to work.
How about that? That's Kurt Busch on the outside of Casey Kane, and he's able to grab second.
And Kurt made a bold move there, but Casey allowed that to happen by backing out on the inside car. If he had forced the issue on the 48 right there, we could have seen the 3 cars in that synchronized spin right there in that corner.
That was turn 7, and now these drivers make their way through the S's for the first time. Jimmy Johnson, Kurt Busch, Casey Kane, and Kevin Harvick, the top 4.
Yeah, we're going to see some guys fanning out here. This is a great opportunity. This is the best place on the racetrack to pass. It's under braking here. See Montoya on the outside of Bobby Labonte, Truex on the inside, and everybody so far gets through clean.
That was the battle back around 12th and 13th.
But like you said, they're allowing that to happen. We're not going to see them allow. They're not going to allow anybody to get away with that as the race unfolds.
Newman with a bump for Denny Hamlin as they head to 1.
And look how far he knocked Denny over. I mean, Denny's all the way out of shape right there. That's amazing. I think that's a funny place. That's a shift point right there, and it looked like Hamlin kind of rolled out of it before Newman anticipated that. I don't think Newman would have got into him that early.
Or said you saw the 26 car been out of shape. In contact with Paul Menard. He's a driver that you always watch when you come to a road course event. Here's Elliott Sadler trying to get underneath Paul Menard.
And like I said, you really want to be on the inside coming up to this next corner because there's not a whole lot of grip on the outside here. So if you can set yourself up coming out of that corner and dive underneath somebody and outbrake them without blocking up the brakes, it's another great place to pass.
And that was a great example because you saw the 19 get under the 98, and the 33 was able to take advantage of those guys going through there, carried that momentum onto the inside.
See Elliott Sadler on track? More on driver 19 with Ralph.
Well, problems early for the 19, Adam. He's struggling with first and second gear. And Wally, as you know, you got to have a couple of those lower gears to get the good pull up off some of these slow turns, like this one at 11.
Yeah, no question. You need them all, Ralph. You're right. If you're having gearbox problems now, I think that's going to be something that's going to develop into something worse because they normally don't get better.
Yeah. One thing about race cars, they don't fix themselves. You know what I mean? And once you have that, if you've got that stumble at the beginning for a carburetor or for a fuel issue, if you've got that where the clutch isn't working right and you're trying to shift, and one thing about these things with the transmission, when you do have some transmission problems, if these guys would start using the clutch sometimes, it'll cover that a little bit.
It's a great shot. Clint Boyer right here. Take his hand off the steering wheel, get the shift.